Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
I don't think I need to wait on the music since we did this last time. Folks, welcome. Flying with Mike starts a new week. Oh, we had a thought of trying yesterday, but then my eyelids closed. Oh, what an exhausting weekend, but a great weekend, but exhausting. 2 5-month-olds, we'll call them because one turned 6 today, 6 months, and a 3-year-old. Yeah, most people would say in a recipe that spells disaster. No, it was actually entertaining. Let's put it that way. They were great, exhausting, but they were great. And rumor has it, it's going to happen again in a couple weeks. So we're not planning any streams, folks. Trust me on this one. We got pushed back last time and they came home. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Well, again, rightfully so, we canceled the stream. Got through most of the pre-flight, just needed to take off. Couple of big questions now just today have arisen. And hey, those of you that's flown this plane, those of you maybe at Rotate, I got a lot of questions for you on this plane. The big one, what the heck is your empty weight? So I can get that in the sim brief, so my numbers begin to match to yours. That's my big one. We'll get to number 2 as we get the plane going. And you'll understand. I got one of your numbers right now, and that is how much you're running a person's weight. But by God, I can't figure out what the heck you're using for an empty weight. It is, I don't know. I'll let y'all know what I have done. So Rotate, you can see I went to the weight and balance and thought, well, you know what? Let's just see what it shows here. 253, 3333. Put that in and yeah, no, not even close. So then I went in, I'll show you what I did. So you know what? That's the best thing. Let's pop up in the cockpit here and let's try to figure this out. Well, we're not going to. I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to go with what's in here, what I've got dialed in, but we're not. I'm confused as all get out now with this plane. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But am I going to sit here and say don't buy it? No, because the more people that buy it, use it, we'll get the answers. even if rotate doesn't want to give the answers, um, which I have found in a few companies out there. They don't like giving their answers away. Anyway, so when you come in, first thing before we pre-flight, kick the power button here. That's going to put you on this page. Select what you want. I went with parked with external power. Pretty simple. Okay. Then if you're wanting to be true to form, go to ground ops. You'll see the ground power. You'll see the chocks. You can skip over this technically. Yeah, I'm still recovering, folks. Jetway, yes, it's set. Now, we'll find out in Cincinnati how this works. These auto gates, I really don't understand. And I'm almost to the point of pulling this and putting it in 11. It's kind of frustrating, the Nimbus scenery for Atlanta, to me. Maybe not to you, but to me it is. But anyway, and then you've got these. Then I come over, I don't open the cockpit door. And I'll show you here. You know what? Okay, I opened forward door number 1. Now that would be 2L. Had to think. Because this is technically 1L, incorrectly put in here. Now, from here on, it's okay. That's not the normal terminology. Cockpit door, really? So it's the cockpit door right on the other side? No. So, anyway, let's show them real quick. All right, so you got 1L where we're hooked in, and you can see a sliver of light in there. 2L, 3L, 4L. But you can't figure out how we did the other side. Cheater, you looked it up. I heard that. I heard you go to Microsoft or to Google. 1R, 2R, 3R, 4R. And then you've got the ULs down below. URs actually, 1 and 2, or 4 and aft. And the bulk, way back in the back, you see that little door opened up? No, that's not APU, folks. That's actually bulk. Okay, so that gives you that. But beyond that, folks, that's nitpicking, and I'm not, it took me a second. Why would you call it cockpit? Yeah, it makes no, whatever, rotate. I'm not a huge fan of this plane. I'm just going to leave it there. So get these set up, then you come to the infamous weight and balance formula. And folks, with this airplane, with rotate, we're hoping what we've set up here is correct. Let me put it to you that way. The tutorial that comes with this aircraft, the MD-11 passenger. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're flying the new MD-11 passenger, Atlanta to Cincinnati, for a shakedown flight. We're shaking it pretty hard here at the gate, because there's no help from rotate. Their tutorial flight is nothing but a regurgitated cargo flight. Most of the documentation you're gonna get but one folder, maybe two, and that is how to install. We're just copied paste. No time taken in to help us out and show us were there any major changes to the models. I'm going to tell you right now, no. The problem here is, one, we don't have what operating weight are you using for empty? because note 255, you put it to 0. There's your minimum 0 fuel weight. Now, I actually somehow, some way, had 255 passengers load, and it only went up 10,000 pounds. All right. Now, I thought maybe that was something to do over here on SimBrief and that. I have no idea. I don't know what number to use here to try and even get close. So we're going to take it minus the fuel. We'll just leave as is. Leave it. Because you know what, folks? That ZFW means 0 fuel weight. So it doesn't matter if they're full or empty. It's whatever the plane is before the fuel. Okay, so let's pre-brief because things will begin to make sense here in a minute. All right, so here you go. You can see what we've got planned. Really nothing complicated. An hour-and-a-half flight from Hotlanta to Cincinnati, Cincinnati, however you want to say it. Oop. There's our flight plan, folks, but that doesn't help us here. The payload for today is 48,450 pounds. If you put your peeps when you build your aircraft database with the MD-11 passengers, at 190, you'll get that number. Okay, each person in rotate is 190. Off the airline norm, but still, at least we have that. Oh, I've seen some a lot lower than that, folks. And they say airline pilots took care of this. Yeah, sure they did. If you have people weighing 190 pounds, let me point you to a crash in Charlotte of a Beech 1900. Look it up. I'm not going to help you on that one. And learn, Mr. Pilots. You already know, though, those of you that are real pilots. That's a very tragic accident. Very. Oh my God, so many things. Nothing went wrong with the plane other than the fact the standard was way too low for what people weighed. So anyway, now here's your 0 fuel weight, what it should be. And this is based off an empty weight. Does this one bring the empty weight in? No, it does not. We'll show that here in a second. So there's our 0 fuel weight, 317,627. And yes, sometimes I do, because of the way they're stacked, I get the takeoff weight mixed up with them. So that's why I always triple check before I gripe, because that has happened. There's what you saw as our block fuel, 31,967. En route fuel, 13,191. I brought that one out because that's part of what you put in. Get explained here in a second. 255 peeps. Very simple run. 27 right to 36 right. Paget 2, Smith, Author to Jackie 6. 80 and 39,000. Pretty simple. Good weather for the most part today. Unlike if we'd have got, well, maybe not. Now seeing the signs of thunderstorms. It's Hotlanta, folks. What do you expect? Oh, and by the way, folks, I'm getting some whispers. There could be another one coming. So kind of keep paying attention. We are winding out of the main core of hurricane season, but it doesn't mean we're out. You still got another good month and a half to go. So 250 at 10 miles and 2,900 feet. So we'll hit the clouds at 5,000 probably. down in Cincinnati, not faring any much. It's still pretty well socked in there. 1,200-foot ceiling, 10-mile visibility, northeast winds at about 7, so it's kind of a yucky day, we'll call it. Use that meteorological term, yucky. Yeah, this time we're gonna do it. We're gonna. Part of me is scared to death to do this, folks. Because of not. Oh, for a second there, I thought they switched us into this thing they've been calling beta. Oh, I was like, oh Lord. It'd be great if things worked. I'm a little nervous though to do this, go on VATSIM, knowing this could end up not getting off the ground. Oh yeah, I can hear the makers over at Rotate going, yeah, it'll get off the ground. All right. So there's the infamous flight. Now, I told you one thing we'll look at. Hang on. Bring up SimBrief real quick. View flight plan. All right, now here's where we're talking. See, I've got it set to what it comes as. And that's what our zero fuel weight should be. Sometimes you can see proximity, how I get, looking at the wrong thing. Kind of visualize that. We're going to go back now to the plane. I know it's hard. Hang on a second. I'm bringing up SimBrief right in front of me. All right. So 255. Okay. Now what the heck? What the heck? Oh, come now. There we go. Whew. Like, what the heck happened? All right, so there's our 255. Now, here's, first off, one of my, well, no, let's do the main concern right now. Okay, we said we're supposed to be at 317,627. I get it, SimBrief isn't set up yet for it, okay? Our zero fuel weight is 346,000 pounds. Call it almost 300. Folks, that is almost 30,000 pounds. So please tell me, Rotate, somebody who knows or has figured it out, what the heck are you using for an empty weight? Here's mine. Now, suspicion, if I add 20,000 pounds to this, will I get close? No. I'm actually, hold it, scratch what I just said. I'm almost 30,000 pounds over. So that means we're 30,000 pounds too heavy on the operating weight. Now, a freighter, I can understand because you don't have the overhead bins, the seats, and all of that garbage, inside the cabin. Although they kept that pretty lightweight, folks. 30,000 pounds. Somebody didn't do their homework. But I'll be honest, I can't get an empty weight at all for this plane because the passenger plane hasn't flown in the better part of 20 years. 20, no, maybe 15 at the most. Because most of the airlines got rid of them and the cargo companies bought them all out and converted them into freighters. That's how they lived on, because they got whales of deals on those aircraft, folks. That's how the MD-11 lived on. Anyway, so that's one of my huge gripes with this plane. What is the operating empty weight? And if you guys have been putting it in my chat, my apologies. I just realized my phone died. Bear with me as I get it back up here and running. I use my phone for my chat in case, if curious minds. I still miss things, yes, but I like to say I don't miss as much. But I got to get the volume set right, because boy, is it annoying. There we go. So that is number one on the gripe parade. Oh gosh, really? Oh, I hate this. Why does it do this? This is becoming gripe number 2. Holy mackerel. But that more than likely falls on my computer. All right. Gripe number 2 to rotate falls with what has always been in place with their product. Takeoff CG. Anyone noticing something here? Who fly the freighter routinely? Yeah. Let's get it within the boundaries. Now, technically, I'm allowed, or in the freighter, to set it at 31.0, between 30.0 and 31.0 percentage of Mach. Takeoff CG. And I always verify payload CG modify for a TO CG commensurate to 30 to 31% Mach. That's not good, folks. So that's why I'm hesitant to go on VATSIM. Now I can get it down to 30 point, I think it's 6, but technically I've got all of this room to work with. I'm going to set it to 30.0. I'm following your words strictly to the letter, rotate. And I really am. I mean, it's great you put the passenger plane out there. Gosh, hallelujah to you. A lot of people out there were begging for it, wanting it, and you gave it to them. Great. Could you have at least given some proper documentation? My biggest gripe to every maker out there, but there's a couple that do, make documentation for the planes. I learned this day one in computers, folks, when I went through school. Day one, document, 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 document. That's like, they don't need that anymore. So, and we're getting a classic example of it right here, right now, why it's required. So can we please, you guys out there that do this, get proper documentation? Like I said, there are a couple out there, and I'm not naming them, although I probably should, to give them a huge boost. But you guys know who you are that could care less about documentation. You make 4 great manuals rotate, not one of them for this damn plane. Not one of them. Specific past. Oh, wait, there was one. I take it back. Had not a damn thing to do with this, though. So that's where I'm a little miffed at this plane. And I do apologize, folks. I'm a little upset at them. They're making you spend $80+ on it if you don't have the freighter. Thankfully, I did, and I only got it for half price. But still, take pride. Put something out that's worth it. Don't feed the mass. Another company did that, and they're feeling it pretty hard. But don't feed the mass if you're not going to give them proper food. But this, we're going to find, I'm going to stay off VATSIM because my gut is telling me this is not going to go well. Well, you know what, though, on the freighter with it there, it should. Let's give it a try. Let's let the world see it. But I normally don't come on, folks, and rip a product like this, especially in the first week of being out. But it's kind of disgusting what I'm seeing. Beyond this part of the plane, it's not bad. But if the plane can't get off the ground, if we're going to have troubles because you guys can't get in there and document us so we have a proper, if you're going to give us a tutorial, hey, why don't you give us a proper one? I actually read the manuals. Hey, I'm one that'll tell you, did you read the manual when you come to me with a problem? Ask a guy, he'll tell you. And 9 out of 10 times, there's only been one time another company asked me, did you read the manual? And I said no. And then I read the manual and said it's still not there. That he didn't like. So anyway, let's move on. I've griped long enough. I want to get this plane in the air today and then do the feature flight today from Destin to Dallas in a plane properly documented and we know will work. Okay, so just like any MD-11 from here on, folks, it's just that way. So we come up here, we make sure the battery's on. Oh wait, I did forget one step. All right, so we got all of this loaded on here. I hit apply load config to aircraft and FMC on all of my aircraft, on all of my MD-11 flights, just to knock that step out. Come back here, request food and fuel. I'd say request beans and gas, but beans result in gas. Can't argue the point, can you? All right, let me take a quick look at our fuel tanks. 10, 10, 10. We're going 31,000 if memory served. So yeah, we're good. Okay, so again, battery switch. Now, one thing I tell people, matter of fact, just told someone a couple days ago, um, it's a good, I had problems with this. Okay. Interesting enough. Okay, looks like the PAX loader doesn't work 100%. If you have guards over your switches and you have to say, for instance, to check the battery, you open it, click it. Oh, it's on already. Click it, put the guard back in. What it makes you have to do is click it twice to change. So let's just say I came through here meaning to do something here, click that by accident. It's not going to do anything major. Okay, make sure you close your guards. It's just one added safety measure, not only for the crew, because they can't push their finger right away unless they're real good at get under that without pulling the guard. Why they would do that, I don't know, but you know how people can be. But yeah, close those guards. It doesn't matter what plane. I know the 7.6 has them. I'm not sure if Zebo has any. In this kind of, oh, yeah, they do. If they do, just make sure you guard them. Okay. Nope, that was not the switch I wanted. All right, now let's continue on. We'll go up here, do a quick fire check.
Engine 1, fire. Engine 2, fire. Engine 3, fire.
Okay, and you can see there's some stuff up here that doesn't work, but the new things are your evac, GPWS. These were not here with the freighter. I don't even know if they're there right now with the new version. I'll be honest, I went through it too quickly. Next up will be, now we have the electric already on ground power. I'm going to go ahead, crank up the APU. And while that's cranking, continue on. I'm going to move up just a little because for some reason, maybe the real one did this, maybe not. I don't know. When you click to nav 1 to nav, you get a test. Okay, nav 1, 2, and 3, even though they don't know how to number, but don't worry, they're not the only aircraft manufacturer. We can call them rocket scientists, because many of those companies do build rockets. Emergency power switch arm, and let's get down here and start up on the McDo's. All right, align IRS, clear and clear, FMC. Today we actually updated, folks. Quick thinking here. If you got the new version for the freighter from Rotate or this one, update your nav datas. Why? They come with 2023. Don't know why, but they do. Most companies will update to the time it is. Some won't. So they're in the some won't category. So just be warned. We on the flight that ended with the pushback, we had run into that issue, and I had totally forgotten. And I'm sure many of you have just went, oh yeah, run the updater. And then what I had to do, I couldn't get it to hook up, and I have to go back and figure out how to do it to the passenger version. So what I ended up doing was copying the nav data database over to the passenger plane. So I do that with Flight Factor's A320. It's really wonky in that nav data update. Really, really wonky. Okay, FMC. Now we do have this KATL KC BG already loaded. All right, there you can see it's already going out. Our alternate today, I think, is still Indianapolis. Yes. Flight number, we're going as Delta 572. And okay, I am put this call out a lot. Real MD-11 pilots. I don't want to hear from rotate. I don't want to hear what the heck is this line for in real world. It makes absolute no sense in the world of rotate. Now, I'll give you my thoughts. It's meant to put in each of the cruise levels we're going to go to. So if, say, for instance, we're going from Atlanta to Frankfurt. Okay. There's probably at least 1 or 2 step climbs in there. So we put our initial, which for us today is 3, 9, 1, 2, 3 on the zeros. Oh, 390, my bad. And then our next one, our next one, our next one. Why? It's not telling it where. That's where my question is. I move on. And hang on, I'm getting, I don't think I need to go any further, do I? We got, oh, yes I do. Alignment. Last time we missed this. This time we won't. Parking gates, 812. Parking gate cords, thank you, 812. 3338, 3338, 4, 8426, 8426.3, 8426.3. 8426.3, 3338, 4. Okay, now we'll hit initialize, position ref, flight plan, and it's back. Now, what it's going to do, folks, when the system aligns, and that's one thing I don't like, not knowing how long to alignment. We can get it in Boeing. We can get it in Airbus. This is very close to an Airbus, so I'm really shocked I can't find it. Really would love to know. Inquiring minds would love to know. All right, so we got that. Now, actually, I don't need the temperature right now, correct? All I needed was flight plan, from to, position ref, and yeah, I went a couple steps further, so we'll come back to this. Let's get up here, do our hydraulic test. And an example, remember what I talked about with the guards? See, I had to open a guard to get to it. Close it. Okay. Now, click over here, come back down, and hydraulics. Okay, we're in a hydraulic test, and all it's doing is testing each of the systems, making sure we have first and what our checklist says. 5.3, and if you're curious where I found this checklist, as everybody seems to be, very simple. MD-11 check. Check, please. And you can see it just doing a test. Test of the emergency broadcast system. It's only a test. All right, now we come to where I do spend some time. Flight factor and rotate. Top the list of double checks you need to do with your client to VATSIM, your client which connects the SIM to VATSIM, XPilot in my case. All right, now if you look up here, folks, where it says 118.95, let's make that first read 122.80. Click it over and it will now read. Now the good thing is it says transmit. Cool. The bad thing is what's right next to it is RX and it is dark, meaning you will not hear them. They'll hear you, you won't hear them. So to solve that, come here with the little hand and the finger, not that finger aimed at rotate. Oh, come now. I recommend just turning it all the way up. Now, if you come across, well, you guys didn't see that because it really zoomed in. But yeah, it's this button. Make sure you push on it with the finger and then turn it up with the arrow, turning arrow. That is how you will, when you transmit and want to talk to ATC, they'll hear you. When they talk, you'll hear them. Why we turned it up, and I found this out 2 or 3 flights into the freighter, that switch needed to be turned up. They no longer are set sounds, folks. Most aircraft, especially payware, you can set that volume. By the way, it's no excuse for why you did not hear the controller when he said to do something. You still got to keep it up loud enough to hear them and be able to acknowledge. The problem comes in when there's multiple deltas or multiple airlines of yours in a space and a lot of traffic. It gets very hard sometimes. That can be an excuse. Never heard you. And they have to get over themselves on that one because they did not. Now, what I just did is turn the speaker on VHF2 so I can listen to, no, that's not what I listen to. I listen to GUARD, emergency channel, Mayday channel, however you want to call it. All right, now we're not done yet. Now you'll be able to hear them with the RX. You'll be able to talk to them with the transmit, but they're going to be very angry with you. Why? Because mode C right here, you see me lighting it up? Okay, that's not green. They're going to be constantly hassling you. Would you squawk altitude? Would you squawk mode C? And you're going, I am. No, you're not. No, you're not. And believe it or not, I actually did run into a little bit of a spat with a controller over this issue. I was squawking standby, or I was actually squawking TXRA, Terra. And this was a flight factor thing, not this. This, all you have to do is turn it to exponder, and now the green light lights up. The controller's in his happy place. Okay. If you don't do that, folks, yeah, get ready. It's going to be a long drawn argument, which you will lose. And, well, kind of, sort of. A little tidbit here, both controller and pilot. When the aircraft takes off and the wheels go up or you just get off the ground, it automatically goes to mode C. Most have it defaulted to do that. Which ended the argument that day in Albuquerque. Actually, it was Mesa. But it took 3 flights for me to figure out exactly why the flight factor A320 wasn't doing it. And I just shook my head and said, you are kidding me, right? Yeah, well, we'll leave it there. This ain't a flight factor show. All right, so we've got the basics. We got our comm set up. VHF1 is Unicom for VATSIM. We'll worry about this if a tower, ground, or center come up, and so forth with the other 2. Transponder set. Let's press on glare shield. Not much. Oops, one too high. Sorry, folks. Glare shield's pretty easy. First thing we got to do is make sure we inches or HEP, inches or millibars, which is what you get pretty much anywhere other than the U.S. We're in the U.S., so it's there. Secondly, set that altimeter to, in this case, 2996. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and kick that up. Now, theoretically, we'll see if it's saved. It should read over here. It does not. So, come back here, click. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Click, save. I don't think I clicked save. We'll find out next flight. So, but anyway, get off the page. That really aggravates me. So 2996 and 2996 now over there. Hydraulic test done, by the way. And alignment should be done as well, or very close to. It appears, but I never got the messages. Make sure. Yeah, it should be complete. Interesting. I'm not sure where I can check the IRS here, but we'll give it our best guess. All right, so coming down, the next thing here is radar altimeters at 200. Again, should have yep, it did. Nav ND should say heading and mag. You can check that right here. Track will get you a true track. Heading will be by heading. Track is used when you're starting to drift. I forget which line of latitude north, when you're getting up towards the North Pole, South Poles. Your airplane's going to look really weird on your display if you don't. And then it'll flip and you'll be fine until you get back to that same point on the other side. Bank angle. There is a little, and you won't see it right now. Now you should. A little caret right here on the outer red edge of this. That tells you where you are. We're currently at auto. That's where I want it. Altimeter set, arrow set, HEP, MENS. Okay, moving on to the FMS. We can do that. going to stay on the init page. Actually, I'm going to just stay on the menu. All right. So first thing here, we got our flight number, our alternate. Now the wind. The wind is not actually that hard. Where I'm finding trouble is temperature. Yeah, the format that I use is very difficult for temperatures. I think I just went with it and then went with the wind at 252. And the first officer has awoken. Hello. All right, sorry about that. We had a little visit from the first officer who woke up screaming. That's where that pause came, folks. You might have heard. I was like, uh-oh, am I going to need the dash? But it got intercepted. Oh, I tell you, this irritates me, this thing with the graphics. All right, so we're looking at a tailwind 17. You know what? I put it in wrong. Diagonal TL 17. All right, our cost index today is 80. All right, so we'll click on the, oh wait, and go to the next page. This shows our weights. Let's see how they match up. They should. All right, takeoff weight. Hang on, takeoff gross 382.6. Yep. Zero fuel 352.7. That rounds up. Zero fuel. Okay, we can't really see the CGs. I don't think we have a land. Oh, there it is. 365. So yeah, very difficult, folks, to use all of this. So all right, pretty much once you have the McDo ready to go, you're ready to fly. And we're about 5 minutes late right now. All right, so main doors open and emergency lights are still disarmed. Okay, moving on up. We go to F plan. Atlanta, Sid. First thing, grab your runway. Right. And verify. Ooh. Oh, unload. All right. Real quick here, I am going to bring in, oh, I hit the wrong switch. Sorry, folks. There we go. There we go. All right. Actually, I think we could. There we go. All right. So basically what I did is I selected 27 right. If you look on here, you'll see that's what I've planned. There's our runway information, a 4-knot crosswind, 8-knot headwind. Here shows the real world ATIS, Airport Terminal Information Service. What that is, folks, pilots tune this in inbound to the airport or in their ground and get the latest weather. So they could read a METAR, but that could be an hour old. ATISs are usually within the hour, if not updated more frequently if weather events are unfolding quickly. Like thunderstorms moving in, snow, how things are going in snow removal and all of that. So, so that's why we look more to the ATIS. Now, not every airport will put one out, and especially not every airport will put one out that NavGraph will pick up. They only pick up the ones, if you look at a chart, say we'll go to the Paget here, and you come up here as your, oh, where's ATIS? Okay, let me try the airport chart. Okay, here we go. Okay, you come up here, you see right here, D means data in my book. ATIS. That means you can look it up on like ForeFlight. You can look it up on the computer if you want. So pilots can actually depart many thousands of miles away, get the initial ATIS, and then as they fly across, you know, check it from time to time, see how conditions are improving to, or not, or getting worse. They can track that, and that gives them a feel, okay, how do we need to make sure the McDo FMCs are set up? That's where these come in handy. All right. So here we're on the arrival one. Let's drop down here to departures. It even gives you a little cheat sheet. What are they using for departure? 27 right, 26 left. Usually it's the closer runways, the further out runways become the arrivals. Just a little quicker to get them out, if you will. It's how I look at it. All right, again, 260 to 11, some thunder towering cumulus, ceiling now 7,500 per this. We'll see what the additional is. Towering cues north, northeast, distant, and okay, we're gonna lose it after that, but yeah. So real world, there could be simultaneous takeoff, simultaneous landings. They're a mile apart, folks, makes them perfectly fine. So 27 right. All of that said to say, there you go. Now, when you click your runway first, most, not all, I think rotate's one of those not alls, will limit what you see over here. And we're looking for the Paget 2, and it's Smith, right? All right, then you just click insert. I'm really not trying to rip on Rotate. They have a fairly good product. This is new. It's only been out less than a week, I know, and there's some things they overlooked. They're words I was thinking of using. I edited myself. All right, so let's look at this chart, make sure everything's going well. You can also, folks, without having navgraph charts, do this. We'll show you that way. I'm going to have charts up here anyway, just to be safe. Let me just show you the departure. We'll call that our departure brief. Pretty simple, folks. Come out to Sea Park, Impasse, Zealand, Paget, out to Colvin to Smith. Altitude restrictions are 10,000 initially. However, with ATC so far, not here, we'll take her all the way up. Okay, so let me get rid of this and show you one thing I'm glad Rotate has done. We do need some positives because there are a lot of positive things about this plane. It's just those two big negatives, folk, really make it a difficult plane. And I've actually had these same gripes over in the freighter. The problem is the freighter, that shouldn't be that hard. There's no seats, there's no interior, but yet the numbers never match up. And I think it's because SimBrief really doesn't have a good freighter MD-11 to work from. Now they do with Microsoft, but they didn't in the past. I know there's something you don't hear often, me saying something including Microsoft. I try not to. Okay, what I'm doing is coming over here. We're going to go into plan, and this is just like on your Boeings, folks. Okay, it's setting it up so you can step through. Now, I meant to probably bump it up on range too, but oh well. So you can see, there we go. 5 to Sea Park, to Impasse, Zealand, and then just use your arrows. The only bad thing is, and that could be an MD-11 thing, real world, it doesn't tell you where you are on here. You just have to look. Like I said, not a tough one because here we are at CVG. We're going to click star. I'm going to just over here select. I'm going, oh, where do we end up at? Let me check. Okay. That works. Where do we end up here? Okay. All right, let me bring charts in. Real quick, let's look it over here. All right, so here's the actual arrival. We're coming in from ARTUR, Cheetah, Trank, Humble, or Herbal, however you want to, Jackie, Navp, Opav. Now, here's how you do the 3 6s. RNAV. Okay, we're going for 3-6 right. I don't see much of anything. Let's go ahead and insert. All right, let's see and play this out. Hang on a second. So, SPOD. Okay, so we're going to go from here, intercept, and in. Okay, cool. That'll work. All right, so let's check it out over here. All right, and there's where the discontinuity is. We'll leave it there, and we'll see if Indy comes up by then. And then our FA and right in. Okay, cool. All right, then we're going to Indy. Perfect. And we'll click back to map. I'm going to increase 1. All right, that gets us through the flight plan. Believe it or not. Now, let's get the sim toolkit up here. Why? Because that's how we get our numbers for our arrival. Sim toolkit, I have sim brief attached to. By this little settings, I can add sim brief. There's D8, US only, does not handle the world. And I've actually put my NavGraph account here too, so I could look at charts on here. I sometimes use it as a one-stop shop. However, we need takeoff, so we have it here. However, you have to fill in all the blanks. The only thing missing here will be the cute little runway showing you how far you went down. I get a lot of you, especially real pilots, like to know how much runway you have should reject come along. I get that. For this flight, I'm not worried. Full flex, autos on the bleeds, auto for the anti-ice, which is not needed. A flex takeoff is enabled, and improved climbing numbers. All right, real quick, and then we're ready to pretty much go, folks. So you can see here's the runway minus the slope. We'll show you where you can get that right off this program. Your inputs from here, and here's what it pushed out to you. Flaps 15. We're going to flex at 60, speeds 134, 136, 154. I may go with these just to see how it works. A lot of times I just go with what the aircraft gives me. Okay, just to let you know. And then like on Zebo, sometimes you'll see increased for whatever reason. So anyway, that's that. All right, so real quick, how do you get your slope? That's going to be asked of pretty quick. Come in here, first off, go to Sim Toolkit. I figured Indy would not take the chance of not coming up for me. Why didn't I see an ATIS form? Huh, interesting. Maybe I didn't look. That could be. All right, so with Sim Toolkit, folks, look over here. You're going to come down. Now, this is the flight summary page. So you got your flight plan, you got your load sheet, your weather, flight tools, so forth down the line. Click your full flight log. Right up here is your airport information and slope. It's up 0.3. Okay, just keep that in mind. So now once we've done the flight plan takeoff, we are looking at flex 60, packs on. There's your slope. UP 0.3. diagonal, and now the runway. Runway heading here, again, you can either get it from the flight summary page where we found the slope, you'll see the heading, or on your takeoff performance, it's like first column coming down under runway and weather, heading 275. Click. Hang on. Oh, 5. Oh, still doing it. 275. When in doubt, 0.0, we're not holding, but there's another bug we found. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Oh, wind. Oh, I am so... Oh. Okay, wind. My bad. Headwind is 11. So bad. So sorry, folks. See what I mean? Things kind of... Too many airplanes I fly. Outside air temperature 26. Okay, the flaps 15, and we should get our numbers. Okay. 130. Wow, we're actually really close this time, folks. I am just going to go with them. Click, click, click. And we're going to get asked this several times. Okay, just so you know, in the remaining checklists, that they match on our displays. All right, from here, we're done with the McDo. We come up here, we go speed 250, heading. Here's where I put that in. And still not seeing them. Although I am a little nervous. You know what? I am going to stay off. No, we'll come in. What the heck? We'll do it. Okay, cleared 39,000. Traffic data VOR1. Traffic data VOR VO2. Radar off. Off. And folks, we're ready to push finally. Not bad. We were a little quicker, believe it or not, last time, but I didn't rip into... It got worse this time when I found more issues that I wished I hadn't looked into, and I did. All right, so we are on the APU. Let's get the bleed air going. Okay, the isolations are on, pack 1, pack 2. Oh, wait a minute, I got this to work. Huh, that's weird. All right, and folks, off. And come over here. Dismiss. Connect. DAL 572, correct? Correct. MD-11. K6044. Now, one thing I'm not I don't know if it's 100% McDonnell Douglas issue or what. It's the lighting in this aircraft. It's very difficult to work with because there's not much to work with. So, you know, you can sit there and come up with a million reasons why the airlines just flat out trash this plane. But cargo companies loved them. They got around a couple of the big problems. Landing was a problem. Don't know what they figured out to make it happen, but the airline did not like the way it landed. All right, we're ready to go, folks. Okay, first things first, windshield defogger on. Anti-ice, not required. Air panel, isolations, APU. Oh, this is before takeoff. I'm like, what? Why am I turning it off? How about we do this? Parking brakes are on. And that's something I don't know if where that problem falls with me or them. Emergency lights armed. And no smoking's on. Beacon, we'll get that on. Verify the emergency power switch is on. Okay, and we do have that armed. Okay. All right, let's call for our pushback and get ourselves out of here.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Oh, excuse me. All right, let's close that main door. All right, chocks are off. Now, I don't know how to work AutoGate, folks. I really don't. I'm assuming by the... Oh, I went the wrong way.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
My bad. I realized the last flight was set up to go to 27 or 26s. And, oh, the gates. I'm really... Parking brake, maybe? I have no idea how that works. Here it comes. All right. Once we're done here, oh, let's get down here. Aux pump 1 on, and transponders should be X-bounder.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. Face south, please.
detected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, let's do it.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, now here's an interesting thing about this plane. They're saying get everything ready to go, engines start after pushback. Now that takes a little time with 3 engines. However, all you got to do is click here and it configures you automatically. Heard the air kick down. And then they say the start sequence 3, 2, 1. Now I get in the old ways. That will not work. Sorry, folks. Gotta start here. Build to the teal line at least. I try to, and then get to 17 at a minimum. Now we'll get the fuel on. And I think it spools up pretty well. I think they got a pretty good handle on that part. It's just this loading part that's kind of wonky. That a lot more information needs to be released to us. They sure as heck aren't going to be talking to me. So hopefully they'll talk to one of you all and you can relay to me so I can fly this plane maybe more. But yeah, a lot to it, folks, that could be a lot better. Okay, number 3 spooled up. Go to number 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Since it's not in there, goodbye. Okay. I had all intentions of flying this on Millennium Aviation, but I forgot to put the flight in the system. Oh well. And I did tell him to disconnect, right?
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thanks for the pushback there, better pushback. And see you next time. All right, there's our pins. All right, we're just finishing the spool up here, and then we'll get the after start and going. All right, head up top here. Looks like everything's readied. Okay, I think I've got it. We'll double check. APU, hydraulic pumps, ground. Okay, configuration. That's this switch. Okay. When's the auto brake? Next. Okay. So first thing, let's check our surfaces. And trim needs to be 4.9. Okay. And finally, spoilers. Okay, folks, I saw some issues. Make sure you use the hand flaps. Yeah, it's a weird system. It's 1-800 dial a flap. No, kidding, folks. It sure seems that way. It's called dial a flap, and what you do is just set it over here. Use this to go up and down to whatever your flap setting you want it to be. That way, when the handle comes down into the dial a flap, 1-800 dial a flap area, it will be at whatever this says. Auto brake, takeoff, and again, takeoff data looks good, and looks good. Here we go, brakes off. Hang on, Atlanta is common trafficked at 119.1. 119.1. All right. All right, we've been taxiing with idle power. Keep going here. Let's go back to engines. Okay. Atlanta traffic, Delta 572 heavy, taxi to 27 right for takeoff. Airport spotter, welcome aboard, sir. Thank you for the follow. Hope you've been enjoying the passenger version, and my truly honest opinion, it's not bad. It has
Land traffic Spirit Wings 3178. We're going to be lining up and departing runway 27 right, Atlanta.
some serious issues, I think, that need to at least be explained so we can understand. For instance, the CG issue with the freighter appears here. However, if you go to 31% takeoff CG, it's yellowing out because you're outside the envelope. And what is the empty weight of the aircraft, so we can get our sim brief profiles, or give sim brief your profile and we'll work off it. But anyway, those are my biggest things. There'll be others. I mean, we've run across them there, you know, but those were the biggies. I do like that we can run, for the most part, idle power. That I do like. I don't think I bumped the power once since we started. Oh yeah, I did. But since then, pulled it back, and I think it's a little bit, I don't know if it's overpowered or not. I'm not a MD-11 aficionado, but by no means. But like I say, it really isn't one of my favorite aircraft. I fly it because a lot of people asked me to, and I finally broke down and said, okay. They kind of hope for a few other things. The okay is never coming on them. Oh, by the way, this is the Nimbus scenery. I like it to a point. And it's probably just me not knowing how to operate auto gates, if it's even meant for me to operate. But overall, I think Atlanta looks pretty good. I don't know about slopes and all. I've only been through Atlanta once or twice. I mean, that looks pretty cool. Realistic or not, I have no idea. But it looks good. Oh, now this is funky. I don't understand. I get the lines, but I think lines are missing. Let me hit the parking brake here, folks, real quick, or we'll be on the runway before we're ready. Okay, so yeah, that I never noticed last time I took off on the... A lot of times I take off on the 2.6s. I did not notice that last time. Huh. The line doesn't go all the way over. And I don't know if this is intended for de-icing. What the heck this is all about. So I do know, because of the heavy traffic, it helps stagger aircraft, but huh, interesting. Interesting indeed. All right, checklist time. And yes, folks, believe it or not, we are planning to get airborne. We got further than we did last time. Flight attendants, take your seats for takeoff, please. All right, so for takeoff, auto flight. This one, this is where this plane can get to be a handful, and it really shouldn't. We're gonna click it. EAD, everything looks good. Flaps, did I set flaps? I don't know, I did not. There we go. Flaps going. See, now this I like. That's pretty cool. That it tells you here. And if you were on that config page, I think it tells you there as well. So I do like that. Now, exterior lights, here we go. To takeoff. Again, I have no idea what these are truly meant to do, if anything. I really don't know, folks. Except I'm talking to the EPA. Am I talking? Am I? No. That would be awesome. I know, little things. All right, folks, let's do it. Hotlanta traffic, Delta 572 heavy departing 27 right. Here we go. Swing it around here, see how the lights look. Guess that's how they looked. Admiral, what? The Admiral is rating us? Oh my goodness, welcome aboard, Admiral Needier. Sorry, tongue got twisted there. Needar. My apologies, 100%. Thank you, sir, so much for the raid. Getting ready to try the new MD-11 passenger version, and like the freighter, has some of those freighter quirks. And maybe a little worse. Overall, though, it's not a bad plane. We're about to see if I get it airborne. Here we go, folks. V1. That'll rotate. Hey, that's a good sign. It rotated. Oh my goodness, it actually got airborne. Boy, we're batting 1,000. Let's watch that flight director's looking good. Get the gear coming up. That's actually doing pretty good, folks. Theoretically, she should. That's all I should have to do. Same with speed.
Stabilizer motion.
Theoretically. I think I show signs of it. No, I don't show. I thought I did.
Motion.
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, there we go. Hang on.
Last rapid Delta 2188, taking up runway 27 right, southbound departure 10,000 feet Atlanta.
That's good. The speed's coming up. Let's go ahead and bring in the flaps a little. What was I wanting to do over here? Dang it. Oh, I know what I was getting ready to do. We're off over. Okay, so far so good. I haven't looked outside yet. Hey, I do have a question for the audience. How many of you have the Mango MD-11 engine sounds? Show of hands. Why can't I ever see hands when I ask that? Thoughts? Feel free to put them in the chat. Let me know. I'm thinking about it. Once we get through these little quirks we have with it to start with. Once I can get at least the empty weight issue solved, maybe that will help on the other side. Uh-oh. Zippy, number 45. Following in from the raid. Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. Thank you so much. And we'll get to a little introduction here. I just want to make sure we're doing fine. Slats are up, right? Maybe? Yes, no? Slats are up. We're not building speed. Hang on, let me check my departure. Okay, that's why. Zealand is 250. Okay, let's see what happens after that. I know there were a couple people I watched that had trouble from getting it to climb, and there goes speed up. But it doesn't oh, it did. It shows 335. Okay, let me give you a quick rundown of who I am. Flying with Mike here. I want to thank Admiral Nidar for the raid, and again, my deepest apologies for getting your name wrong. That was not intentional. I do apologize. But thank you, Raiders, for coming aboard. You're on with Flying with Mike. I've been streaming for about 4 years, and I'm here to tell you I'm a little on the tired side. No, just kidding. 4 years is a long time behind the mic. But it's been a great run, folks. I really have enjoyed doing this. I've actually been flying different flight simulators since about 1999-ish. I've flown 98 or 2000 was my first, although I did dabble with the first or second iteration of the flight sim in Microsoft, way back when all you could do is get as far as Champaign, Illinois. Gosh, that was real funny. But I mean, computers that you see today, yeah, biggest and meanest and baddest bulletin board cray machines out there. Back in that day. But anyway, so I've flown them all. The best I came across so far is a Century of Flight from Microsoft on that side of the house. No clue what today's iterations are like of it, other than I hear and see lovely eye candy, but that's about all I see in it. Whereas at least in FSX, it did have a fairly decent flight model. that to me is one of the biggest things I look for in a sim. However, I switched over to FSX in 2008 like everyone did. There were a lot of other things going on with Microsoft aside from the sim, although with the sim in a very roundabout way. I don't want to get into the politics of that because it really ate at me. And I looked at X-Plane back then, and that was X-Plane 6 or 7. The illustrious Austin would have to update me as to which one that would have been. I hated it. Sorry, Austin. Flat out, just garbage. I know when X-Plane 8 came out, I'd heard all the hype on it and all, that the scenery was better, this and that was better, but I couldn't see it. It still looked like the garbage can I saw in 6. So I just totally didn't pay and wasn't going. Well, FSX, as we all know, drone on to 2020, the year 2020, when Microsoft would finally put another sim out. However, there were a lot of people not happy with it, and that's what held me off from it. Meanwhile, this guy by the name of Hawker125, that's his handle here, he's a real good friend of mine here in town, kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for X-Plane. Well, my computer finally went kaplooey, got the new computer with X-Plane installed on it from X-Force. Phenomenal company, phenomenal computer. And as they say, history was made. I moved away and will stay away from Microsoft forever, or until X-Plane does the same thing, which I don't think Austin will. You can throw all the great eye candy at me, but why are you all paying for scenery if the eye candy is so great? Put that in the back of your head and think on it. Like I said, am in flight. What does the airplane do feel? I have a private pilot's license, albeit I haven't flown since 1986. However, I did fly a year or two ago in a Piper Arrow my uncle owns, and had a flat-out blast in it, folks. Even though it was a half hour, what a fun time. It really put that bug back in me to get back in the air. I just know the cost is astronomical, and I just can't, especially right now. On a sad note, I am unemployed. However, I've been pushing hard in the stream here, trying to help fill the gap, mostly for the stream, but also potentially to fill the gap afterwards. So we'll see. So that's a little bit of me in about 5 minutes. What about you? What do you all like? Again, the aforementioned Hawker 125 pushed and pushed and pushed for the MD-11. I finally broke down and got it. 2 reasons. I watched a few streams with it. Again, this airplane does not jump out at me and say, fly me, fly. I'm not a huge fan of this, just like the airlines were. And I don't know my reasoning. I'll be totally honest why I just never really got into this plane. The DC-10, a little more I got into. But nobody wants to make a DC-10 anymore. Heck, the Air Force wants to get rid of them. Oh wait, they're called KC-10s there. So, that's how this came to be in the freighter version. I actually had one, probably a century of flight. It wasn't bad, the MD-11, but it wasn't great. PMDG came in, Ready for Pushback, I think, was the name of the 747 back then, first century of flight. Two very good companies. Now we have Fearless, which is just outright unbelievable what they do with the 747-200. My only problem with Ready for Pushback back then was my same problem with X-Plane back then. It looked like a toy on the outside. Now the 747 on the inside, oh, they really put all their working hard and their sweat and tears into the inside. Fearless did both. Outside, inside. Wow, is all I can say. So that's how the MD-11 came about, and in some ways the 747. Just so I hope you all enjoy. And Zippy45, thanks again for the follow, and Admiral Nidar for the raid. We sure appreciate you. Airport Spotter, also thanks for the follow, and really got just love what's going on. Little late getting off. We were hoping to start up flight 2 by now, but we're gonna go till flight 2 ends. So just so you know, we still got every bit of, hang on, let me get the overlay up here to tell us. 30 minutes to go, and we'll be in Cincinnati, and we get to see how this thing does on landing. Now, we're not going to dig in what we've already hashed out. You want to see it, catch it on YouTube. My goal, just for those of you here on Twitch, we're going to, if I do it right, I didn't do this last time. We're going to come into the great and Duluth fly with a prediction of dead on arrival. I love it. Great job, Duluth. Thank you. No, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the gate. Okay, we're going to taxi and park in the gate. I'm going to try not to hit the gate. And walk through the landing, how good, how bad, final thoughts on this plane, shut it down, and I'm going to stop the recording for the folks over at YouTube if I do this right, and it'll look like we're closing the stream out. However, we're actually going to switch aircraft and locations and everything for the scheduled flight today. This is actually an extra flight. I actually tossed a little bit on this. I was even pondering putting a different plane in place than what you see here. So all right, just getting things turned on, weather, terrain radars. Increase. All right, so top of descent right now appears to be Cheddar. Appears. Now, last week, the flight from Knoxville to Midway. Now, I know we have ATC up in Indianapolis Center. Auto ATC came in and told me descend to flight level 240, not providing traffic and all of traffic and weather at 9 o'clock. I don't know if I've never seen that auto ATC. Now I saw the one and have seen it for a couple of months here now, where it gives you the squawk code. So that was new. That shouldn't happen unless that happens before Indianapolis Center, which I'm going to go ahead, dial in 12825. Okay. All right. And I'll be honest, folks, I've seen this third one, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with that third one. I've seen it for how many? Almost 6 months to a year. I'd have to look at my X-plane stuff as to when I started flying the MD-11. And I've never seen that one used. Wait, that says terrain. Wait a minute. Back that truck up. Oh, yeah, it will. Huh. Let's set it to weather. No, it didn't set. All right. Well, that ain't cool. Why is it? There it goes. Oh. Huh. Okay. Learning as we go, folks. Like I said, both the freighter and the, well, let me rephrase that. The freighter updated with the passenger coming along. And I was hoping they'd bring some things over, but they've brought over some issues that I really hope to find out what's the truth and what do I need to do. So I don't continually rip this plane as badly as I did. And my apologies for you all sitting through that. It's just horrible that companies don't take time to document. If you're going to do it right. If not, call me. I'll do it. So, I mean, I'll help you out. I really would love to know if these are actually operable and say stuff back there. All right, time to see how close we are to Indy. We still got a little ways to go. All right, taking a look at our arrival, Jackie 6, Hermy, 16,000 feet. We're at 39. Let's get out the, preferably not an aerospace, rocket scientist calculator. If you don't believe me why I don't, here, let me show you how they count. 1 aux 2. Shouldn't that be 2 and that one be aux? Anyway, me being cute and funny, at least they got it right here. System 1, 2, 3. 1, missed it here. 2. Folks, sorry. I have fun with little things like that. Rocket scientists, these guys are that make these airplanes, and they can't count. Oh, I'm kind of nervous. You dodo, 39 minus 16, 23 times 3 is a whopping 70. We'll call it 80 miles from Charter, or what's it called? Hang on, it's not Cheddar. From Herm B. All right, let me try something here. That was not what I wanted. All right, let's go to progress. Cheddar. Where did I find that before? 67 miles top of descent. Right there, we'll start in. hang on. Okay. Now, while we're at it, you can do the same thing we did, folks, for getting the takeoff data from SimBrief for the landing data. Or just rely on the McDo. Yeah, I know. You're all going, it's a Boeing. It's actually a McDonnell Douglas product. But, to be technical, what you do, just go to landing performance. It takes in and calculates. Actual landing distance on 36 right will be 4,100 feet with max braking, right? No, we're not doing max. So let's, oh, that's all we can select. And we can't get reverse credit. What about positive credit? Okay, so we're looking at, oh, and that's flaps 50. No, 35. All right, that's a little better. We'll get about 4,500 feet of actual distance, leaving us about, factored landing distance is 59. What's the length on this one? 10,000 feet. So we got about 5,000, 6,000 feet remaining. However, we can expect to float. Welcome to Flying with Mike. We float. Just like 1-800 dial a flap to get your flap setting. 1-800 we float. And again, folks, once we get on the ground, parked at the gate, we'll do a quick debrief and debrief of my first impressions and close it out like we're closing normally every day. And then streamers will stay on, and then we'll kick into the main attraction of the day. Destined to Dallas. Would have been more impressive last week, but you know, it was closed for much of the week. Little thunderstorm nearby. I don't mean to make light of it because I know Helene was not a little thunderstorm. However, that said, folks, I am getting whispers of another system potentially coming in this weekend. So kind of stay tuned. I haven't gotten official word yet, but there is some whispering out there. Another system close by where Helene started could blossom. But it all depends how it gets through that strait between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. If it goes over the Yucatan Peninsula, that can pull it apart quite a bit. If it stays closer to water, it'll be what it'll be. Uh-oh. I think Indianapolis is here to interrupt us. 128.225. 225. I thought it was... 1, 2. He changed that intentionally. No. Indianapolis Center, Delta 572 Heavy with you. We're flight level 390.
Delta 572 in the center ident.
I don't want to. I gave you my identification. And Delta 572's identing.
Delta 572 radar contact to 5 miles southeast of the London VOR. Welcome aboard.
And Indy Center, Delta 572, we're getting pretty close to top of descent.
Delta 572, descend via the Jackie 6 arrival, runway 36 right. The Cincinnati altimeter 29901.
All right, we'll descend Jackie 6, 36 right, and just so you know, we do have Foxtrot, I believe it is.
And Foxtrot is correct.
All right, so now we've got, here's the approach information, folks. We just need to verify, okay, 148, 143.
UPS 17 Heavy, descend and maintain 3000. Down 3, UPS 015.
Okay, so we're coming down to 16, 16. And if I
And 3773, Kansas City Center's closed, radar service terminated, free to
think
change the
it's
bridge.
the down arrow. It is. I always get confused on this plane. Up, I think, puts us into hold. Down puts us into manage descent. And if we need more, we click here. Same thing over here, folks. If we need to take over, because he gives us a vector, down, we can set it. Same with speeds. But for those that have to break away and are curious, my first impressions, I'm gonna give it an okay. I can't say outstanding product. There's way too many problems in documentation and known rotate issues with the MD-11s that nobody's come out to let us know changed, unless they're expecting us to go hunt it down from them, which I think is again.
UPS 17 Heavy, turn to the left heading 080 vectors approach. 080 vectors approach, UPS 017.
So, but anyway, that's my opinion, folks. Take it for what it's worth. But we'll get into it a little bit more, about 5 minutes at the most, because I know you all really are here for the main event. This I kind of meant to get going a lot quicker. It ended up taking a lot longer to get set up. Plus, we got hung up on the biggest issues I have with this plane right now. I'm sure we'll find more, folks. Do not fret. But right now, the biggest issue
Delta 310, contact Cleveland Center, 119.87. 119.87, thanks for help, Delta 310, have a good day.
Now, one thing, folks.
UPS 17 is confirming a left 080. Oh, 080, correction. That's 180. UPS 017.
I affectionately call this an Airbus 11. I know, much to the chagrin of you Boeing guys, realize it's a McDonnell aircraft, not a Boeing. Boeing acquired them, maybe finished up the last bit of them, but it was built by McDonnell Douglas. However, if you look at this plane, if you're having troubles trying to figure it out and you love flying Airbuses, you should have already picked up on. It's a very much Airbus typed overhead, yes, there's some McDonnell Douglas thrown into it.
EBS 17 Heavy, turn to the left heading 020, show the runway 35 right localizer.
And
020, clear for localizer 35.
I'll give you the biggest thing that I found that's very Airbusy.
I just want to confirm you're not clear for any kind of approach yet, you're just showing the localizer. Showing the localizer.
Right here. If you really pay attention to it, folks, you're going, oh my gosh, yeah, you think Airbus, you got this plane, folks. It becomes pretty easy to figure. And that's how I've been able to get through much of it, is just think of it as an Airbus, and it really comes together pretty quickly. So hence my affectionate name. That and Hawker 125 hates Airbus, so it was kind of also a little but it truly is much like an Airbus, as much as people hate to hear that.
And you bet 017 and localizer.
All right, let me get into my descent.
And EBS 17 Heavy, I guess you missed the localizer there. Turn to the left heading tree 0 to reintercept. And 30 ready to reintercept.
Okay, EAD, nothing showing yet. Let's go with brake set to 3. I'm sorry, brake set to medium. Okay. Any skids on? Landing data checked and verified. And we're coming down pretty decent through 28,000. The numbers say we need to be under 21. So guess what? We're gonna, well, it's saying we should make it.
And EBS 017 Heavy, field of sight. EBS 17 Heavy, cleared visual approach, runway 35 right. Clear visual, 35 left. 35 right, EBS 017 Heavy.
Now, I will say I kind of like this, where Boeing and many of them will just put the will put just the information here. I like that it shows where it's sometimes pointing off of. It just a little bit, but it's gone. All right, we're going to come down a little steeper because, folks, we're only 2 miles. And I forgot to de-arm. Okay, seatbelts on. And Jackie is 14,000, just so you know.
Canada 1105, indicating on the frequency.
Sorry for the
Canada
sniffles there,
1105,
folks.
affirmative.
Okay, we're
CVG
making the
17
turn.
heavy, the winds are 2204, runway 35 right, clear to land. Clear to land, 35 right, GPS 017 heavy, going to ramp 9 today. Air Canada 1105, say altitude. Canada 1105, on flight level 380. Canada 1105, roger. Canada 1105, clear direct Forks. Direct Forks, Canada 1105. GPS 17 heavy, taxi to parking via Delta Golf Charlie, cross runway 29 Charlie. Delta Golf Charlie and cross 29 Charlie for GPS 017. Indianapolis Center, good evening, Delta 148, cruising to about 3 minutes to go with it. Delta 1481 in the center ident. Ident, Delta 1481.
Okay, we're going to be close, folks.
And Indianapolis Center, just to let you know, we're approximately 50 nautical miles south of Glazer, Delta 1481. Delta 1481, radar contact 16 miles southeast the Hitch Mountain VOR. Welcome aboard. Hey, firm, roger that, thank you.
All right, we're setting 240 in the box. We'll see if she'll...
Afternoon, Sun Devil 22 on the ground at Tri-States, looking for clearance to San Antonio. Sun Devil 22 in the center. Go to the San Antonio Airport as filed. Maintain 4,000. Expect level 4501 0 minutes after departure. Departure is frequency squawk 3750.
Clear to San Antonio is filed 4,000, 45110, and departure is squawk 3750. We're short of 12, number 1 ready to go.
Indianapolis Center, speed burn 21 Victor, with you at flight level 320. Super 21 Victor, Indy Center, welcome aboard. Alright, Sun Devil 22, or 22, do you need full length of 21?
No, we're short of 12 ready to rock.
Or 12, whichever one it is. And, you know, I'm just kind of confused here since you said you're short of the runway, even though it's a towered airport. Caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I was texting and saw that you're here, so.
Alright, so 22, the winds are calm, fly runway heading, runway 12, and Alpha, clear for takeoff.
12 Alpha, clear for takeoff, Sun Devil 22.
Delta 572, descend and maintain 5,000.
Down to 5,000, Delta 572. All right, folks, here we go.
United 1209, descend and maintain flight level 280. Descend and maintain flight level 280, United 1209. Delta 572, turn right heading 340, join the runway 36 right localizer.
One more time on that heading for Delta 572.
Yeah, right 340, join the localizer.
All right, right 340, thought you said 240. We're turning for the localizer.
Sun Devil 22, radar contact, say altitude.
3,500, climbing 4,000 remaining.
Altitude.
Alright, Sun Devil 22, climb maintain for level 450, clear direct wind due.
450, direct wind due, Sun Devil 22.
And Delta 572, you can turn right heading 020, intercept the localizer.
020 to intercept localizer Delta 572.
And Sunday, you good, 017, signing off. Thank you for all your help. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Have a good day. Delta 1481, descend via the level 1 arrival, runway 35 right, full altimeter 2989. Delta 1481, descend via the level 1 arrival, runway 35 right, full altimeter 2989.
Descend via the level 1 star, runway 35 right, and altimeter 2, correction, altimeter 2989, Delta 1481.
Delta 572, descend and maintain 3000.
Down to 3,000, Delta 572.
Delta 572, you are 6 miles from the lapper, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. With the ILS, runway 36 right approach.
Cleared for the ILS 36 right approach, Delta 572.
And speedbird 21 Victor, cross some Bauer at and maintain level 240.
Cross Bauer and maintain flight level 240, speedbird 21 Victor.
American 2006 in the center, ident.
Stabilizer motion.
American 2006, radar contact 4-5 miles west of the London VOR. Welcome aboard. Delta 572, the winds are calm. Runway 36 right, cleared to land.
Cleared to land 36 right, Delta 572. Thanks.
United 1209, unfortunately Chicago Center is closed. Radar service terminated for interchange approved.
Over to, do I go over to Unicom or over, onto that, no, I need to go onto that CETA frequency, won't I?
You wouldn't change to the CTAF for Chicago until you get closer. Since it is a bigger class Bravo, I'd recommend about 20 miles out. Maybe even 30, you start monitoring it, but you start broadcasting about 15, 20 miles out.
Oh, okay, yeah, thanks very much for your help, United 1209. Have a good day, cheers.
Indianapolis Center, JetBlue 778 with you. Squawk is 7267.
JetBlue 778 in the center. We can kind of see the squawk on the screen, but ident.
All right, flaps, brakes, auto brake, slats. Here we come, folks.
Identify JetBlue 778.
And JetBlue 778, your radar contact to 900 miles northwest of the Terra VOR. Welcome aboard.
778.
All right, we are now fully
Rear 1716, India Center on the frequency.
configured. Troy off will be good. Now we're looking for the runway. Got it. Now, what I'm gonna do... Actually, what I'm gonna do...
Speedbird 21 Victor, descend via the Tiger 4 arrival, runway 36 right. The Cincinnati altimeter is 2 at Niner 1.
Stand by the Tiger 4 arrival at 36 right, altimeter 299 1, Speedbird 21 Victor.
Autopilot. Autopilot. Autopilot.
Okay, plane's mine.
Glide slope, 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 glide slope.
Okay, I'm going to be using the visual cues, so...
Stabilizer motion. 400. Approaching minimum.
Sync rate, 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 sync.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Idle reverse. Off reverse. I'll be happy with that.
Delta 572, taxi to parking via Tango.
Via Tango to parking, Delta 572. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Okay. All right, folks, here we go. We are looking for, hang on, Bravo 4, and hang on a second, I had it last time around. right, so what we're gonna do, according to this, there's actually 3 lanes. We're gonna head over here. Actually, I probably could have just stayed where I was, but oh well. Probably in lane 2C. Just so I have the most clearance. Anyway, Bravo 4 is down here. And we'll get through the rest of this here in a minute. I think that's our gate right there. That's why I'm saying, had I stayed up there, we probably would be fine. By the way, in the old days, the terminal was up there. Today, it's out here.
Delta 1418 at Miko, cleared the ILS, runway 35 right approach.
Roger, cleared for the ILS 35 right approach, Miko, Delta 1481.
KATL 1105 cross Forks at and maintain flight level 230.
Cross Forks at flight level 230, Canada 1105.
Okay, now that's different. I used my pinky key and it worked. Why doesn't it do that in a freighter? Huh. All right, we're into blocks, folks. Let's get caught up. Let's first get rid of that. I only run with that, folks. You saw right there on the approach. It's a little bit in the way. Now I could probably change my field of view a little bit, but it's not the only airplane like that. Zebo's actually the only one I can actually leave it up and not have troubles. But anyway, let's finish this up here. So after landing, spoilers, flaps, radars. Okay, yeah, we didn't turn them off. Hang on. Okay, that's all good. Radar off. Radar off. Stape trim to 3 units. Okay, so we'll go to 3 units. One thing I'd also like to know from Rotate, is it possible to multi-leg flight, like pull in here, pick up, you know, park, pick up a new flight, new numbers, new everything, and then blast off on the next one? Always, I mean, there are some planes that can't, folks. That's why I ask that. Anti-ice APU is on. Okay, and bleed is on. All right, after parking, fuel switches. That's these guys down here. I'm gonna shut down the APU is on power, and there goes the last one. By it doing all of these little quick clicky things, I'm thinking it might be able to. But again, Zebo, I know I can do it on my tolless aircraft. We've done it many a times. Transponder. First off, let's get back on Unicom. And transponder to... Ha! Never took it off expounder. And he never knew. Alright, doors may be open now. Let's see how the... Uh-oh. We may be too far up. It didn't toggle. Alright, I'd be curious then. Another question. Ah, okay. Got to put the chocks on first, folks. All right. Cool. Now it works. Okay. Thank you. There's my answer. Sometimes it's pretty simple, folks. Others are going to take a little bit of questions. All right, we are here, folks. Now, as I said, I forgot to put the flight in to Millennium, so we do not. And it wasn't that I forgot to start it. I was ready to go, but I had realized I didn't do that. Let's quickly debrief. Sorry, Duluth. DOA didn't happen. We landed at 451 feet a minute at 151 knots. According to the McDoos, folks, that was fast by about 7-8 knots. Just so you know. Oh, auto brakes. Oh, I don't like that, but that may be a MD-11 thing. Brakes down, flaps up. Speed, close, down. Okay. So, sorry there, didn't give you the DOA. All right. Other than that, folks, the flight went overall, before we get into dissecting the landing, which we're not going to do a replete because every time I do, we crash to desktop. Right now, until I get a good one, elsewise we're not doing them. So overall, my opinion of this plane is it's actually, I'm gonna say, worth the money. Now, I'm not gonna give it a flaming A+. I'm gonna give it about a C+, maybe B- at the absolute best. Where this aircraft falls flat on its nose, or wherever else you'd like to say, is right in two places. Here, actually not this page, but this page could get overlooked if the main problem with this aircraft is documentation. You give us a flight tutorial to fly, but it's the cargo one. And that is really sad. Now, yeah, are you going to learn the basics? Heck yeah. But the problem is, this is different than the freighter. Obviously, there's this thing called people. So the other, with that documentation, what's your empty weight? So we can set up our aircraft so our numbers better match. Now, I figured out your passenger weight. That was not hard. 190. 0 cargo, folks. You know, is it cargo that it goes by? I can't remember. Hang on, I'm gonna just pull it up real quick. November 80 will get me right to it, and 807 DE. It is baggage weight 0. As long as you put, when you set up your plane in SimBrief, passenger weight 190, baggage weight 0, you're good there, folks. That came out spot on with your payload numbers. Your 0 fuel, however, was way out in the distance. Let me just, because I do remember this changed to, because we were playing with it. Yeah, 48,450. That's what our baggage weight was. Now, SimBrief with an empty weight of 269,177 came up with a 317,627 number. You're out in left field with 346, and I don't know where you got it. So that's the biggest issue at the moment is what is your actual empty weight. I don't care what you measure it off of. And I know there are a couple of them. Just give us the one that we can get closer on our 0 fuel weights. Secondly, the 30 to 31% MAC rule that applied with the freighter. Hang on. I figured that. Oh, there we go. Doesn't apply here. Okay. So remember, we can set in the freighter 30 to 31% MAC. It's in your tutorial if you didn't know it. It's in your checklist if you didn't know it. I can't do it here. Now, normally I said 30.5. That's my norm, folks. Split the eye of the, dragon and we're good. It isn't good anymore. And that would be really nice to see in some documentation what we need for the basic loading of the plane. Empty weight. Be nice if you threw passenger weight in so people don't have to do what I did. And the takeoff CG rule. Is it still in play? Is it not? Once you get past those three, and unfortunately that documentation thing, that really irks me because that's what kills everything out here. If you can't document your program, or because you're scared of this or that, folks, what are you in business for? So that's where the B- C+ comes in. I could lower it even more because to me documentation is like 95% of what we need to be able to fly these planes. Most of us know how to fly them. If you really think about it, you really do know. Go up here, a battery switch, APU or ground power, APU bleed. Then you can get into the nuances of testing this, testing that. IRS to nav. I mean, folks, the airplane's pretty much ready to fly at that point. Call 1-800-DIAL-A-FLAP, and with McDonnell Douglas, you can set your flap. Just kidding. Do not call one. There is no number. That just cracks me up. And I'll tell you what even cracked me up more. I watched another streamer a few weeks back, and he was flying the MD-11. Doing a great job, like he always does. He goes to set the flap. Text, not me. I swear to God, it was not me, folks. Did you dial 1-800 dial a flap? He just blew right over that. I'm just sitting there dying laughing. I go, oh, that's awesome. I'm not the only one that thinks that way. Anyway, I'm sorry, folks. Little things like that do get me. It helped me through aircraft that have problems that this one does. But overall, it does fly. Now, what happened with another streamer I watched, and it did do this quite a bit to me prior to updating the freighter, where the speed would not go up at 10,000 feet. Unless, of course, like today, where we had a limitation in place. Today it worked perfectly. So I think that might not be an issue anymore. We'll fly again. Don't worry, folks. Oh wait, it's slated for tomorrow, so. All right, so there you have it. Let's wrap this up. Do a quick look at this landing. Where and what? Not that button. The one right below it. All right, we're back on Sim Toolkit. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, let me get rid of this. Complete. Yes. All right, so there you have it. An hour and 23 minutes, 451 feet a minute. Actually felt pretty good, folks, that way. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think before we look at the chart. I think we were left of the center line 10 to 20 feet at the absolute most. Floated probably, I'm going to say we probably touched down between 2,000 and 2,500 feet. Okay? I'm on record. You can roll the tape back and find out. Okay, there's the basics again. Hour and 23 minutes, 325 miles, 8,500 kilos of fuel, 451, and like I said, we were fast. I think 143, 144-ish was our landing speed. All right. Whoa. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it is set up on the right runway, too. Yeah, there we go. All right, well, folks, I got it right in one area, wrong in another. Wow. Okay, so it's a 10,000-foot runway. We briefed that inbound. 151, we know that. We landed 1.3 Gs. That's actually not bad, folks. The tea and people's would not be in their lap or their coffee. Mine, however, was. But, however, I said I believe 10 to 20 feet to the right. Well, we were to the right 14.5 feet. That's not bad, folks. Remember, when that nose gets up, the runway goes away. I said 2,000 to 2,500 feet down the runway, 1,300 feet down the runway. So, folks, in that realm, we did pretty good. So, we still hold it's a B minus C plus aircraft right now. I do recommend it. Just be forewarned. Okay, so for now, folks, we're gonna shut things down. You guys on Twitch, the stream will continue on. You guys on YouTube, we're gonna cut this video off here, and I hope you all enjoyed my first look at the MD-11 passenger version from Rotate. Again, C minus to B plus is how I rate it. Probably a high C minus. I mean, it just, that documentation is a lot to me, folks. Those key ingredients are what will help this aircraft. There it goes. All right, so let's get outside, let you all get another view of it, because I know a lot of you love this bird. Why, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? There you go. And we're going to head on out. And then I hope you all on YouTube have a great day. This aircraft will come out here shortly, and I hope you enjoy the video. My apologies if I got a little ranty with the issues of the plane, but if Rotate happens to watch this, I hope they understand I'm trying to be as constructive as possible, not destructive. So with all of that said, folks, I hope you all have a good night over at YouTube. There will be a second video coming out here shortly of our Destin to Dallas flight forthcoming. YouTube or Twitch, stand by for it because it's on the horizon. We'll be back.